Right now, save 50% off everything at Gap Factory and 50 to 70% off everything at Banana Republic Factory. That's right, 50% off or more on everything in stores and online. Save with teas starting at $6.99 and 40% off clearance at Gap Factory stores. And at Banana Republic Factory stores, fabulous tops start at $9.99 and 50% off clearance. Hurry! Search our store locator for your nearest Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory store or shop us online.
Blog Talk Radio.
Alternative facts.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government. At 12:07 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, numerous unidentified objects of unknown intent and unknown origin were detected at high altitudes over multiple locations of Earth's outer space by the National Radio Astronomy Observatory, and these objects are presumed to be some form of controlled aircraft. It is not known if more of these aircraft will arrive, or if they will attempt entering Earth's atmosphere. United States citizens are encouraged to monitor local media outlets, as more updates will follow as information becomes available. The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government. Attacks by the undead have been reported in several states across the country. The dead are rising from their graves and are attacking the human race. At this time, it is expected that more attacks of this nature will occur in several other states in the next few hours. The intent behind their attack is unknown at this time. He has been observed that a bike or exchange of fluids is a method of transmission. This is an extremely dangerous situation if they crave the taste of human flesh. It is not known whether this event will last for hours, days, or even longer. Stay calm, as authorities have been dispatched to deal with these creatures. An all-clear siren will be sounded when this situation is under control. Pacific Standard Time, nor is detected a long-range nuclear missile launcher. This missile is believed to be headed in the direction of all residents within a 400-mile radius of this area should seek a fallout shelter immediately.
Welcome to Within the Chaos with your host,
Rodney Shortridge,
and co-host,
Robin Dalton.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. You can listen in by going to blogtalkradio.com/withinthechaos, or listen in by phone. You can dial 323-870-4197. And you can also call in to ask questions to our guests at the same number, 323-870-4197. From deep within the heart of the Appalachians, I'd like to welcome everyone and thank you all for listening to Within the Chaos. My name is Rodney Shortridge, and I'll be your host tonight, along with my fiery redhead co-host, Robin Dalton.
Hey, y'all.
Tonight, our special guest is Ryan Jones. Ryan is one of the hosts of the Freaking Awesome Paranormal Show. He co-founded the Vibe Radio Network with Holly Mullins. He is also co-founder of Living Paranormal Magazine with Alex and Helena King. He runs the Cabin on 360 with Dennis Esblock, and he is a member of the Crop Paranormal. Let me see. He has been in the paranormal field since 2013. Before we get started with anything else tonight, I just want to say our hearts and thoughts are with the amazing folks in the great states of Texas and Louisiana battling this horrible flooding. To all my listeners, if you can spare a little cash right now, go online to find a charity to help with the flooding victims, like the Red Cross. A little bit can go a long way in a crisis like this. And as Americans, no matter what state you're from or what color your skin, whatever your sex, we are all Americans, and we help each other. So get your ass out there and pony up some money and help these folks. I also like to give a shout out to my cousins up in Ohio, Jennifer and Joe Shortridge of 222 Paranormal. If you get a chance, check out their talk show. You can find them on Facebook under 222 Paranormal. Also to the beautiful and lovely ladies of the Paranormal Party, the SOS Sisters of Salem, my amazing friends, Misty and Ashley Connor, the famous Connor Sisters. If you get a chance, check out their talk show. You'll also find them on Facebook under Paranormal Party. And I want to give a big shout out to all the Facebook paranormal groups that allow us to post our shows on their pages and helping us get the word out about our amazing guests. So, Robin, how was your week?
Well,
okay,
I've been
that's where it
crazy
started.
most of the week.
Well, I've known you for 9 years, and you've always been crazy. What the fuck?
Well, you know how anxious I get. And
Yeah.
for anybody who doesn't know me all that well, I'm a major hypochondriac.
Major.
So this week I had to go on blood pressure medicine, and it has freaking drove me insane. Today I'm feeling a little bit better, but it was just a rough week between that and my uncle passed away on Sunday. So my cousins, Selena and Mia, if you're listening, my heart is with you. Uncle Jerry was a wonderful guy. I'm so sorry. And also, if everybody can remember Jeff tonight, he lost a cousin this morning. Very tragic accident. He was trampled by a cow. I'm telling you, I've never heard anything in my life, but he was trampled by a cow and he passed away, and it's devastating to everybody. So everybody, please be careful when you're out there fooling with your cows. They apparently are real freaking dangerous.
Yeah, cows can kill too.
Yeah.
That might not be an appropriate joke right now, but cows, the revenge of the moo-moo.
Yeah, I really was blown away. I you hear things, but this was just, wow, I really couldn't believe that a cow actually killed somebody.
Yeah, they can.
Wow.
Well, enough of my bullshitting. Let me go ahead and get Ryan on here. It's my honor to welcome our special guest, Ryan Jones. Hello, Ryan, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Hey, man, how you doing? I'm here live at the Cabin on 360. Got a bunch of friends here with me right now. We're about to just jam out, having a good time here. How you guys doing tonight?
Oh, we're doing
we
great.
We are wonderful.
That's awesome. I'm sorry to hear about that cow accident. That sucks.
I know, right? That was just really just blew me away. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
Yeah, but you don't think about it, but those cows can move pretty damn fast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, apparently this one was real pissed off.
Apparently, yeah.
And they're like 2,000 pounds too, so yeah, that don't help any.
Yeah, they're coming at you. You best get out the way.
Yeah. So Ryan, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, it's always the hardest question for someone to answer. It's like, tell us about yourself. Well, I'm better at answering questions, but I guess I've been in the paranormal for about 4 years now. I guess I would say I'm. Oh, great. See, Angie just burped on me. That's great.
Hey, they might not have even heard it. Thanks for calling.
Hey, it happens.
It was damn sexy. Let me tell you what.
Because I'm a sexy motherfucker.
Hell yeah.
At least it ain't like Robin farting and burping on the phone. I mean, come on.
Hey, there's more room out than there is in. Okay, people.
Okay.
Hey, that's right. Better out the top end than the bottom end. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Addict in the basement.
That's right. Better out the addict in the basement. Shit, I don't know. I don't want to be rambling on about me or whatever. I mean, I don't really know what to say, honestly.
Okay. Well, how about what got you into the paranormal world?
Curiosity. I was really growing up. I was really scared of the paranormal. One year, my mom got me the Ghosts of Richmond book, and I wouldn't sleep with it in my room, so I thought the ghosts were going to come out the book and get me. But when I went to college, we started watching these paranormal shows on the Travel Channel. This is before Ghost Adventures, and they would talk about the history of the locations and the different stories of the people who passed away, and that got me interested in learning more about the paranormal. Because I wanted to learn about their stories, and I wanted to learn about the people behind the ghost stories more than the actual evidence itself. Then I started watching like Ghost Adventures, and I'd post about it on Facebook. And my ex-wife's uncle saw that I was posting about it, and he was part of a team, and he invited me on to be a part of his team, and the rest is history.
Well, that's cool. Well, have you had any unexplained or paranormal experiences that's left, any significant mark on your life? And if so, can you explain how and what?
The first real paranormal experience I had was when I was with my old team, All Things Paranormal Society, and I caught an EVP of an Indian, it's what sounds like an Indian chanting while sitting on the front porch. It was so clear that it just really left a big impression on me. It really gave me a love for the paranormal. Excuse me?
I'll never forget my first clear one. Ain't they awesome?
Oh, once you catch that bug, it's like, it's like the floodgates have been let loose. And, luckily, being able to learn a lot from, Dennis and, Lyle Lotz and all them, and being able to, listen to what they have to say and being able to go on a lot of cool investigations. I've been really blessed lately.
That's cool. Well, have you ever seen a ghost? And if you have, can you explain that experience?
Yes. Yes, I have. It was at the cabin. It was probably I think 2 months ago. We were here with Lyle and Tana Lotz. Our friends Donald and Kim were here too. It was a Saturday night. We were just kind of chilling out. And I looked out the window, and I saw a figure walk by one of the windows, back windows of the cabin. The only problem is he would have to be 7 feet tall or more for me to see him walk by, because I saw his whole torso walk by the window. And I walked outside to see if I could see him, and only part of my body you could see was the top of my head outside the window. And my friend Kim actually saw the same thing. And she was like, "Did you see what I just saw?" I'm like, "Holy shit, yeah." And that's the first time I'd ever seen an apparition. So it was pretty exciting.
Wow. Well, you was talking about your EVPs that you captured. Have you been able to communicate with these entities as far as getting a response to any questions that you've put out there to them? And if so, what have they been saying to you?
Mostly my responses have been just random. This is not really a response, but we did a spirit box session here at the cabin, and we were talking about the murder that took place next door during one of our sessions, and we actually got a response on the spirit box that says, "I killed her. That bitch was crazy. That bitch was horny."
Whoa. Holy
on the
crap.
spirit box. Yeah.
Damn.
So, I mean, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well,
But then again, we get a lot of cool stuff here at the cabin anyway. So.
It sounds like, I know what I'd like for us to come up. It'd probably be in spring before we get to come up there. But yeah, I'd like to bring my group up there and let them poke around.
Just come out here before the ticks come out. That's all. That's really all you need to be concerned about, because the ticks suck. Literally, they suck. Yeah.
Literally?
Literally, they
Literally.
suck.
I don't want no damn Lyme disease.
Yeah, Angie goes out. She goes out into the woods. She comes back with 30 or 40 ticks. It's fucking amazing.
Everybody else
God.
has like 3 or 4. I have like 40.
I let her
sure
walk
it's not
ahead of me.
some kind of paranormal
so
plague?
Ticks. Do what?
Are you sure it's not a paranormal plague?
It might be. They may just be attracted.
No, that's a lot of freaking
Sure.
ticks.
No shit.
Oh, it's crazy. But how many ticks that she can pick up? But they're not so bad now though. They're pretty much gone now. But beginning of summer, man, she was picking off ticks left and right.
It was awful.
Damn. So how, what, and why did you and Holly Mullins start the Vibe Network and become our amazing bosses?
Well, we were a part of the URN Radio Network. Actually, Dennis was the host of Full Spectrum Radio on the URN Network, and he had 2 shows every Monday and Wednesday night. And him and his partner Matt got tired of hosting 2 shows, so he asked if anyone wanted to take over his Monday night slot. So I volunteered. Honestly, I didn't think it was gonna last this long. I went through 2 co-hosts before I got to Holly, and we hosted the show together for like 2 years. And the guy who was running the network decided he wanted to quit, or he didn't want to do it anymore. So I volunteered to take it over, and I had all these changes in mind for the network. And the guy decided he wanted to come back and didn't like changes I was making. So I'd already had the wheels in motion. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do it. We're just going to go ahead and do it. Sorry. And we decided to create the Vibe Network. We wanted to create a network where it was a family. Where we support each other, and we did stuff together like Paracons and public investigations and stuff like that. So we wanted to give people an opportunity to host shows if they wanted to, and get to know people and really try to create a sense of community where we help each other out, help other teams out, help charities out if we can, stuff like that.
Well, I know
I'm glad y'all did.
Yeah, I have too, because it's been a pleasure and an honor, to be working with you all and being a part of the Vibe Network, because it's really opened up doors for us, and I've been, we've been able to meet and speak with so many great, talented people.
Yeah, it is really cool to like you said, meet new people. It's awesome that I've been able to bring like Angie on as one of the hosts of the show. Celestial McBride is a host of the show. One of the hosts, my friend Amanda has hosted the show before. It's really cool that we get to talk to all these awesome people and meet all these great teams as well from all over the country. Even being able to talk to, Alex and Helena out in Great Britain, have them on the network, and being able to become friends with them wouldn't have been possible without the Vibe network, which is, I think is very, very cool.
Exactly.
Oh, I agree.
All right, Ryan, I want to know more about the investigation part because, I'm real nosy like it. So, so how many investigations do you think you've been in that you've participated in so far?
Shit. Yeah, I mean, if you count the cabin, because investigate here all the time. Probably over 100. Wow.
So can you tell me about Crop? And that's the group that you're in now?
Yes. Crop was founded by Dennis Eslock. It's a fairly new group, but we're just getting started. We just had an event out at Henricus Park about 2 weeks ago, and we're actually going to be investigating a spot here in Henrico this weekend.
Oh, cool.
So what type of techniques do you use? Like, such when you go in and you're working at a place or with a client, do you go in like scientifically or religiously, metaphysically? What all techniques do y'all do?
Well, I think that when we do an investigation, we use both scientific and spiritual. Dennis is the leader of the group, so he deals more with that than I do. I basically just go into the recorder and record the EVPs and hope to get something.
Yeah. What type of tools and stuff do you all use?
Oh wow. We use the K2 meter. We use what they call a Periscope 360. EMF meters, digital recorders, the usual stuff.
Well, now, what exactly is a Periscope 360? I'm not sure most of our listeners wouldn't know what that is.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ask Dennis to explain what that is. He's right here.
Okay.
Here we go.
It's even easier. Just bring me in.
Hey, I think Dennis is actually on the line. You put him on?
Yeah, here you go. Sure. There you go.
Here I am. Well, that kind of ruined that fun. I was hiding. I was going to play with Ryan for a minute if I ever got called up to ask a question.
Oh.
I was going to change my voice and say, I heard a rumor that you wear Depends when you go on investigations. Is they that bad?
But no, nobody ever brought me on. Well, basically, a Periscope 360 is produced by Jeremy over at Paranalogies. It's just a static meter that instead of reading EMF or electromagnetic fields, it picks up on the static fields. And it has, I want to say it's either 10 or 12 little clear plastic rods that come out from a center point, hence 360. It's circular motion, and we can use it to utilize, to get questions answered, or just prove existence of something there. Can you give me 2 green rods, or can you give me 2 red? We use them as yes and no as well. Give me a red light for a no, or give me a green light for a yes.
Okay.
Well, what is your favorite piece of equipment to use during an investigation? I'm assuming Ryan's is a voice recorder, but what about you,
right.
Dennis? What about you, Dennis?
For me, I would have to say voice recorder as well. a typical investigation, I've got 3 and 4 going at all times.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of time in the review, but that's where most of your answers are coming from anyway. I mean, a DVR camera is nice. You can actually get movement perhaps, or, you know, you may catch the Holy Grail and see a spirit move through screen. Odds of that are slim. But the odds of catching an EVP or electronic voice phenomenon, quite good.
Yes.
And those are hard to dispute sometimes, those EVPs. If you are in a group of people and you know that no one else said anything, and you get a voice saying, help me, or something like that, you know, some of them are really hard to dispute.
Yeah, I mean, prime example, Ryan and I were going into the house next door to the cabin on 360. We're the only two here, and we got a little girl's voice that said hello. It's kind of undeniable that we were in the presence of a little girl spirit.
That's awesome.
I love EVPs. They just blow me away every time I hear one.
I've got over 100 EVPs from the cabin and the brick house.
Damn.
Itself.
Y'all tend to notice that if you're, as I've noticed when we're on investigations, a lot of times we'll get more EVPs just by sitting around bullshitting than we will doing anything else. Do y'all get a lot of that?
Yeah, it's like if we start to ignore them, they're like, hey, wait a second, guys, we're still here. You know, we ask them questions, they're quiet as fuck. Then when we start ignoring them and we don't talk about amongst ourselves, they I guess they feel more comfortable, or they were like they want to get noticed again.
Yeah, we'll try to add to the conversation. Well, this question will go out to whoever's there listening and whoever, because I know you probably got a house full or cabin full.
Oh, yeah.
Have any of you all been physically, emotionally, or spiritually attacked by an unknown entity? And if so, can each one of y'all explain what happened?
Have we been attacked? I have not been attacked. Have you been attacked, Angie?
I mean, I don't necessarily say that I was attacked, but when we were at the Fairy Plantation, I feel like something negative was there, and it kind of was not really attacking me, but just kind of pressuring me, I guess, or making me feel very uncomfortable. And then once I got up and left the room and the situation, like you just saw 2 other people kind of go down, and then it went straight to another girl who, I mean, I don't know. I never feel comfortable telling other people's like names or anything like that, but
I mean,
because I don't know how they feel about it, but
that's understandable.
As far as you're concerned, that that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like it attacked this person like severely.
Okay. Well, because I know each person, it seems like I've talked to and asked this question, each person seems to have a different answer. So what can you all explain to everyone what a demon is? You know, like I said, each person I've ever asked this question, they seem to have a differences of opinion.
Well, I mean, I know demon is not human, opposite of angel, very dark. I'm not sure of the textbook definition of it, but to me, it's a very dark figure, not human. I guess a minion of the devil. How about you, Angie?
I mean, that's such a hard question for me because, you know, like I think you said, some people don't feel like there's actual demons. That's very hard. It's very rare. I mean, I kind of like to think that. I mean, however, I feel like I've, you know, encountered a demon pretty much in my life. And so I feel like it's just a source of extreme torment and torture, just severely dark energy. And I think it kind of goes beyond, like a step beyond kind of like your normal eerie, nasty feeling like this is doing bad. I think it's just like pure, unadulterated evil. And you just don't even want to be around it for a second.
Yeah, I don't think you can control yourself when a demon's involved. I think when you're possessed, I think that you don't know you're possessed. I think it just overtakes your whole body. Dennis might actually have a better definition than I do.
Yeah, and I do want to say that when whatever happened at the Fairy Plantation, like through that whole situation, like Dennis handled it like a master. Like he went in there and took charge.
We're gonna make him
handled
blush.
business.
He's gonna be like, "Oh, guys."
Well, it was awesome.
We're part of the Dennis fan club out here.
Yeah. Well, our fearless leader.
That's right.
Well, have any of you experienced the demon? Like been attacked yourself, or that you would think that you've been attacked? And if so, can you maybe explain what happened and what that experience was like?
Well, I know Dennis had an interesting experience in the basement of the 360 house. If he's still on,
he's
want to
still
tell you
on.
about it. Well,
yeah, he's still on.
I'm not sure exactly which experience you're asking about, Ryan, but Stephen Dills and myself, we're pretty much convinced that there is something of a darker energy that resides or dwells in the basement of the Brick Rancher next to the cabin. The two of us were going through, and both of us have had issues in the past. Both of us believe we've been marked. So we will take on pretty much anything. So here are the two dumbasses in the basement walking across going, "Come on, you little black bastard, prove you're here, show yourself, do something." There was a thermal image shot from one of his team members that I can't explain. Now, if you're familiar with thermal imaging, bright red is a heat signature. It shows where an investigator was standing. There was a light blue image in the middle of the picture that was actually being pointed out as temperature at 59 degrees, and that was a cinder block column. And then there's this just absolutely almost white, cold figure in the bottom corner that looks like a face. Is it a demon? I don't know. I felt the energy from this thing go up in this little crawl space hole, and when I reached my hand in that crawl space, I think if I'd left it there for a couple of minutes, I'd have probably got hypothermic. It was that cold.
Damn.
Is it a demon? I don't know. I've been in this for nearly 2 decades. I've interacted with countless human spirits, good, bad. I have a simple philosophy. If you were an asshole in life, you're probably an asshole in death.
Yeah, that's true.
So I know how my body reacts to the energy of a human spirit in my presence. My body doesn't react like that in the presence of this thing. It just totally weird. So what it is, I don't know.
Well, are there any teams or individuals in the paranormal field that are inspirational to you? And if so, can you explain why and how they've impacted you?
Well, obviously Dennis. He's been my best friend, my brother, for going on close to 4 or 5 years now. He's one of the people I look up to the most in this field, because he's taught me so much, and I'm gonna toot his horn, whatever. He's just been completely awesome to me. So I mean, I can't say enough good things about him. Lyle and Tana Lotz, of course, they've been very, very good to me, very influential. Angel May from the Exchange Hotel. Hell, even you've taught me a lot too. Holly, the Connor sisters. I mean, the list goes on. I can learn a lot. Even Angie has taught me a lot. for the few months I've known her. And say if I'm leaving anybody out, I apologize. Like I said, I'm not used to being the one interviewed, so I get nervous. But yeah,
you're doing great.
I have a lot of cool people in my life because of the paranormal, and I'm very lucky.
And I agree. I think when you do stuff like this, and when you can meet so many different people, you can always take something from everybody. Everybody has something different, and you're like, ooh, I want to try that. Or they all have a story, they all have something to share, and that's why I love what we do and getting to meet the people we meet. You never get bored.
We all have different experiences. We all have different stories to tell. We all have different takes on different situations as well. Maybe you see something a different way that I don't see it, and maybe your way is better, or maybe it makes me change the way I feel about a certain thing, you know?
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that you're at the cabin on 360, and can you tell everyone, about the cabin, its history? I know you talked a little bit about paranormal experiences there. Do you host events or investigations there with other groups or individuals? And what exactly, do you do at this cabin? I mean, just put it out there. Let everybody know, about the cabin.
To talk about the history, like, I'm not very good at talking about the history of the location. Dennis is better at that than I am. But to give a brief synopsis, the Battle of Bethesda Church, which is a small battle before the Battle of Cold Harbor, actually took place on the land the cabin stands on. The cabin itself was built, so there's energy on it already from that. The cabin itself was built in 1980 as a model home. My grandfather was contracted by New England Log Homes to build, I think, 3 or 4 log homes, so as model homes, in hopes that people would, it would catch on, and log homes would be the wave of the future. Well, that didn't work. And the cabin itself has seen many different businesses since then. There's been a hair salon. It's been a dog. They make gourmet dog biscuits here. There's been a gift shop. It's been a doll shop at one point. And the list goes on. The last actual business here was a hair salon, and the owners actually left the cabin with everything in it. Everything you need for a hair salon. It was all the shampoos, the chairs, the hair dryers. There was a tanning bed they left upstairs. They just got up. They just up and left, and the house stayed empty for I think 7 or 8 years. Until we started investigating actually went out to the brick house because my dad told me a story about a murder that took place in the brick house, and how when they found the body of the girl that was murdered, he was called in to help the police and stick with the body. That's the part I heard. Now, when we went to the house and we started to investigate, we dug a little further, and we found out the 17-year-old young man named Randy Lynn Elliott. I kept wanting to say Rodney. Randy Lynn Elliott raped. See, I have you on my brain. Raped and murdered his 12-year-old sister, Melissa Carroll Elliott. It was October 4th, 1979, as Melissa was getting ready to go to school in the morning. when we investigated the brick house for the first time, Dennis and I were in the basement of the brick house, and we heard what sounded like it was a little girl scream upstairs while we were in the basement. We were like, you know what? I think we need to investigate out here. So we came back that night, and we've been doing it ever since. We've been out here ever since. We do allow teams to come out here. I think it's 140 on like Fridays, like weekdays, Sunday through Friday, and 160 on Saturdays. And we try to do charity events out here every month. $20 a person to come out and investigate from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. And all the money we raise goes to the charity that we choose to give it to that particular event. So, like last August, we raised close to $500 for a young girl who is battling brain cancer right now. And we have an event that's coming up in September for our friend John Wells, who's battling colon cancer. And all the money we raise will go to him and his family to do with it as they choose.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, we try to do what we can. That's awesome. We try to do what we can to just to raise money and do what we can to help the community out as best we can. Plus, it brings people together. We have a core group of people who come out to the cabin during our events. We call it the 360 family, and we can always count on them to come out and support us and our causes, which is pretty cool. We're able to do that.
That's awesome. So, what is all of y'all's opinion on what a ghost could be?
Well, wow.
Come on, Big Daddy, you got this.
See, I mean, I if it's personal opinion or if it's like dictionary definition, I think for me a ghost is just energy of a person who was here before. The ghost is what you can see, like the apparition of like the spirit, or is it the energy ball? It's not the same thing,
Mm-hmm. How about you, Dennis? What's your opinion?
I asked this once before. I had, like Ryan mentioned, I used to do full spectrum radio, and I asked a team leader this. Now, he was running, quote unquote, running a school on paranormal investigating. He didn't have an answer, left him completely stumped. So I fired right back at him after a full minute of dead air, and I said, well, according to popular definition, a ghost is nothing more than a spirit of someone that's passed that you can visualize. You can see them. That is a ghost. A spirit is just our energy, our presence, our being, our soul, if you will, just energy.
Okay. That's a good answer. So what is your opinion on why spirits still linger and not move on?
Angie?
I mean, I think science pretty much explains that. If your soul is considered energy, energy cannot be created nor destroyed, only transferred. So I feel like, that soul is kind of a spirit, and, it just transfers into the universe as that energy.
Mm-hmm. Well, why doesn't the spirit move on, or that energy move on? Why does it seem to be earthbound?
Because really, I mean, it's where else is it to go? I think maybe parts of it stays here. Maybe parts of it go to whether you believe, you go when you die. Maybe some of it just I mean, it can't really fizzle out, I don't think, but maybe some of it still remains with you in your actual body or this actual physical form. You know, I just think it's just, you just spread out all over the place. And I think, you know, it kind of, think of it in a way, like the way I think of it, as people who like to have their ashes spread. You know, sometimes part of you will go to the ocean, and then you want some of you in, you know, the forest. I think your soul, I feel like, is the energy kind of like that. It just kind of sprinkles all over places where you've been and you've left your mark.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
So what do y'all find the most challenging when you're investigating?
Most challenging for me is probably if it's nothing going on, staying awake.
Amen.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest, I mean that's probably the most challenging thing for me is just staying focused on investigation if there's not much going on. What about you?
I think for me the hardest thing, and even though like, you know, is I feel like I am kind of sensitive, like I will still try my hardest to debunk something. Like I know it's real, I've experienced it myself, but I will always try my best to find out a logical reason for it. So that's the hardest thing for me, is just accepting that it really is what it is.
Oh, we got a couple people like that, don't we, Rodney?
Yes, we do.
There's nothing wrong with being skeptical. I mean, you want to think everything's paranormal, but it's also good to like just let it go and say, okay, finally, this is paranormal.
I'm very healthily skeptical.
Yeah.
I also know when to throw in the flag and just say there's no explanation for this.
I'm actually kind of curious as to what Dennis thinks is the most challenging part about investigating.
I'm curious too.
I would have to say understanding why or why not interaction occurs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is it a lunar thing? Is it a location thing? Is it the personality of the investigator? You know, what causes that spirit to interact or not to interact? That's the most challenging to me, is trying to figure that aspect of it out.
Yeah.
That beats my answer.
Absolutely.
Well, I've tried to figure that one out myself, and I honestly think it's people's personalities. Because I've noticed within my group, some people that are more open and, you know, a little loudmouth like I am and Robin, we tend to get more, you know, of a reaction than with the ones that are really quiet and they're more observant. They just will sit there and maybe ask one or two questions for about an hour, but they just sit and listen and looking and all that. But, you know, I know your senses play a huge role in this, but I'm not going to go up and talk to somebody that ain't going to talk to me.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, have y'all ever been afraid on a location during an investigation? And so can y'all explain what happened?
The one time I was, you know, afraid or just unnerved. I was in the basement of the brick house. We had Dennis's laser grid going in the basement, and we had the fog machine going. So it was very, very disorientating. If that's even a word. And I was downstairs by myself, and the house was empty, and I hear a girl behind me saying, "Hey." And I didn't run out the house, but let's just say I walked at a very brisk pace up the stairs and out the door. That's probably the one time I felt really unnerved because, like I said, I was by myself, and yeah, it freaked me out a bit. I don't know if Angie has anything.
I mean, I hate to say it because, you know, of all the many investigations I'm getting ready to go on, but I mean, actually, the thought of Dennis sneaking up on me scares me more than anything else.
Cheat. Now you just gave him. You have a target on your back. Right there.
It's okay. Ronnie does it to me.
Whenever I'm there, I'm always waiting for Dennis because he likes to scare me. I mean, really, I'm so I try to be so logical that, you know, I have not yet been scared or terrified. And even things that have happened, like the only thing I can remember being like frightened was with my very first experience when I was probably about 5, and there was a man in the rocking chair in my room. And, like, that scared me a little bit. I went and got my dad, and he was like, nope, there's nothing there. So I just lay there with the covers over my head and kept peeking. Like, that was pretty much it.
Yeah. So now Dennis is outside scratching the window.
He's already, like, jumped out and scared me twice tonight, so he's going for a record, I guess.
Well, you asked for it now.
Rodney likes to do this thing, and Jeff's getting bad about it, too. We'll be in a dark place, and he'll just stand, like, in a corner somewhere and not say a freaking word, and just all of a sudden you'll catch him in the corner of your eye, and you're like, oh, shit, what's that? And he'll just be sitting there laughing. I'm like, that ain't funny. Stop that. He's made me cuss in churches and everything.
Oh, my God. We were upstairs in the back room of the cabin, and we had shut the door to the EVP session. I was just sitting there watching the door, waiting on Dennis to bang on it, because I know this is. I mean, even when he did it, I jumped. Cause I was expecting it. I still like jumped 10 feet.
Yeah.
I do subtle stuff. I don't bang on the walls or nothing like that. I just try to place myself somewhere where they should be looking, and just stand there and wait. And then next thing you know, they'll put a flashlight on me, and then they'll flash it back, and they're like, "What the hell was that?"
we have these dolls. I mean, you've seen them at the cabin.
Yeah.
We placed these dolls around the cabin. Well, we Angie and I actually placed the tall one about right in front of the front door with a knife in her hand. So when you walk in the front door, it looks like the doll's coming at you with a knife.
Now I've got a flashlight on her.
Yeah, we got a flashlight on her. Angie put a flashlight on her, so she's in the spotlight. We'll take a picture of it, put it on my Facebook page so you can see it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd like to see it.
We place them around the house. We place one in the bathroom, so if you like take a shit or something on the toilet, excuse me, you look up and you see a doll just staring at you.
Damn.
All right. So anybody that knows me knows that I'm not the brightest crayon in the box most of them. And
You're
then
good
you
company.
add, and then you add that there is no such thing as a professional ghost hunter. So you end up with some really crazy, weird mistakes. What are some that you have experienced? What are some of your biggest mistakes you've made that makes you go, holy shit, I can't believe I did that?
Oh, fuck. Man. I don't want to sound like I don't make mistakes. I don't want to sound like I just can't think of anything really that major.
They're 3 times in the same fucking night.
Well, yeah. I mean that was just, you know. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention then, but it didn't break the laser, so I mean, couldn't have been that bad.
He's like, why'd you bring that up?
Night.
Well, I was just so into the investigation, I wasn't looking down. So my biggest mistake is not looking down when I'm walking across the floor and kicking Dennis's laser across the floor 3 times. Sorry about that. I love you.
Mine is when I first started whispering all the time.
Oh, whispering! Oh my God. That oh. That is my one pet peeve. That is such my pet peeve. You do not whisper during investigations. I don't like that.
Oh, I agree. I don't like it either. Because it makes it so much harder when I'm going back over your EVPs and you're sitting there. Okay, I hear a whisper. Where the fuck is that coming from?
Yeah, especially when you're leading a public investigation, and it's like, all right, we tell them over and over again, please don't whisper. It's just don't talk in a regular voice. And I'm like, and every time it's, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. If you're sorry, don't fucking do it. You know, I mean, once or twice I can understand because you think that you got to be quiet during an investigation. And plus it's dark, and when you're dark, you whisper. That's just human nature. When you're in the dark, you whisper, and that's just how it is. But if it's like 3 or 4 times and they're still doing it, and they still like, I'm so sorry, 'cause it sucks because other people who want to take the investigation seriously get screwed out of a good investigation because these people are all whispering to each other and stuff. So,
well, with the mistakes that you mentioned, what advice would you give a newcomer into the paranormal field so they don't make the same mistakes?
Well, don't whisper during an investigation, for one thing.
Look down when you're walking.
Look down when you're walking. If someone has their laser grid set up, make sure you watch where you're stepping. Find someone who knows what they're doing. Find someone you can learn from. I was lucky enough to become friends with Dennis, and he's helped me a lot to learn how to, watch where I'm walking, for one thing. But more than that, he's taught me to just observe more when I'm investigating. He's helped me to just learn about different techniques and stuff like that. So find someone you trust and someone you can learn from, and just watch what they do. That's my advice.
Well, I know you mentioned your EVPs is your best evidence. Do you have any video or any still camera photos that is some really good evidence that you've captured?
Well, the best evidence I've seen, didn't actually capture myself. We got that thermal image in the basement of the brick house that Dennis was talking about. And we've got a video that was actually captured by Twisted Paranormal Society on their DVR system of what appears to be energy light orb coming through the back window of the log cabin when the window was actually closed. It comes through the cabin window and comes at the camera, and we captured it on the DVR system.
Wow.
Well, doing what we do, we run across some crazy, crazy stuff. What would you say is the strangest or weirdest case you have ever investigated?
The strangest case I've ever investigated. Well, I mean, I'd hate to keep harping on it, but this is the place I'm in now, really, because so much stuff happens here. It absolutely blows my mind. The stuff that we've been able to capture out here with the dark energy in the basement of the brick house. There has been dark energy here in the log cabin. Residual Civil War spirit stuff going on in the woods behind the cabin. We've heard cannon fire while sitting on the front porch. People have heard musket fire in the woods behind the house. I mean, there's so much stuff that happens.
I'm coming to visit, right?
We welcome you. We're really trying to get this place out there because it's just amazing to me how much stuff we've been able to capture out here. It's and like I said, I hate to keep mentioning the cabin, but as far as like this amazing
That y'all?
See, stuff where people are throwing stuff at me now. All right.
I was going to say, was that y'all or was that paranormal?
No, it's Dennis and Angie throwing stuff at me.
Yeah.
Do you prefer to investigate like the historical places, or do you prefer residential or commercial, or do you just not have a preference?
Well, I mean, I like helping people when they need my help. Dennis and I actually just went on a cleansing yesterday, so I do enjoy helping people. But I enjoy the historical places too. I can't say I like one more than the other. I mean, I like going historical places to say I've been there, but I know that, you know, the evidence I catch at some place like, I don't know, St. Albans or Waverly Hills isn't going to be any better than the evidence a team caught the day before I was there. You know, so if I go someplace that no one's ever been to before, at least I know the evidence is fresh, and nobody's getting what I'm getting.
Exactly.
Well, that's been one of the arguments that we've had in my group. There's some of the members in the group, they want to go to Waverly Hills and Moundsville, you know, all these great places, but it costs so much money, and
it's so
expensive. And then you got other members in the group. They're like, you know, it's been done to death. What do you think we're going to get that someone else hasn't already got?
Yeah. I mean, I like going places like St. Albans.
Yeah, I can't wait till the 11th November to go.
Yeah, the public investigation. I like going places like that. But I can't imagine paying that so much money to go to Moundsville because, I mean, unless I'm guaranteed to get something out of this world, which you're not, but it's like it's a risk either way. You could either go there and spend all the money and get this great evidence, or you can go there and get jack shit and pretty much just there for the experience of going to Moundsville or Waverly Hills or places like that. Basically, you're paying for the experience because you're not guaranteed any evidence.
You're
I don't know
just
about
paying.
y'all, but I work for Rest Care. I'm pretty poor, so I can't pay for what is.
And that's the cool thing about the cabin is that we don't charge that much for you to come out here and investigate. Under $60 is not that much, and that's per team, not per person. So, I mean, obviously we can't guarantee you're going to get evidence here because nobody can guarantee that, but at least you're not paying an arm and a leg to come out here and try. You know, and plus if you're in the neighborhood or you want to come out, $20, pay $20 to come investigate during a charity event, and we've caught some really incredible evidence while on these charity events as well. We've caught Class A EVPs, and we've captured residual cannon fire, gunfire, musket fire. People have heard like what sounds like drums in the woods while investigating during one of these charity events. So I mean, doesn't matter when you come out here.
And see, and to me, that's reasonable because it does take money to keep a place running. I understand that. But when you're charging, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 for, a group of 5 to 8 people, and not only are you trying to investigate it, you also have someone right there with you holding your hand the whole time. It's like I'm paying just to put this on my resume.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
When we invite teams to come out here, we open up the cabin for them and we just leave them alone. We're not in their way. They pretty much have the cabin to themselves from 6 p.m. to 9 a.m. in the woods behind the cabin. All we ask is they respect the property and they respect the people that are still here.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and I think that's great.
how do you feel about these newer paranormal groups that keep popping up today compared to when you started investigating the paranormal for yourself?
I don't really know much about them, to be honest with you. I can't really say much about these new paranormal groups, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Robin?
Do you have anything to say about it, Nancy?
Well,
he calls for his girl, and I call for my girl.
I mean, I know.
So, are there any places out there in the country that you would love to investigate that you're just itching to get to?
Well, I know the Winchester Mystery House is one of the places I want to go check out, just because it's freaking awesome.
Oh yeah, we will definitely check that out.
Yeah.
That's going to be a thing that happens in this life.
And I want to go to Salem, Massachusetts, not Virginia. I've been to Salem, Virginia. It's not that great. Actually, no, the 15 Salems are out there, so I shouldn't say that.
That's not nice.
But besides them, there's not much going on out in Salem. I love all my fans in Salem. I love you. But yeah, Winchester Mystery House, Salem, Massachusetts. I think that's it. If I can get it, Moundsville and Waverly. I keep wanting to say Waverly Place, like the Wizards of Waverly Place, but that's not it. If I can get into the places for free, then yeah, I would go. But yeah, I don't really want to pay the money to go out there.
Right.
Yeah,
I want to go
I
to
agree.
Tombstone. That's my dream place to go investigate is Tombstone. I want to go so bad.
Yeah, that'd be a good place too. Like, that's just the Winchester Mystery House. Is the first thing that popped in my head.
Yeah.
There's Preston Castle. There's Penhurst. I want to go check out the Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. I want to make my way over to England and investigate with Alex and Helena out there. Some of the castles and stuff.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I'd like to go to some of these ancient sites like Machu Picchu, the Great Pyramid.
Oh yeah.
Stonehenge. If they let you investigate and do something like that, I think all places like that would have maybe a story to tell.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where Dennis wants to investigate.
He's still on the line.
Yeah, I'm right along
it.
with. I want to go back, not just generations and investigate a small family home. I want to go back centuries and investigate castles and places like that. That would be what I would be more interested in. You mentioned Machu Picchu. Oh, hell yes. I could spend a week there just investigating, see if I can actually capture anything of, thousands of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I may not
That
understand
would be
the language,
awesome.
but I think it'd be cool as hell.
Yeah, I do too. Any place that's got some type of ancient burial, I'm talking about ancient, I'm talking, 100,000, 200,000 years ago. I want to see if we can get something that far back, because I don't know of any reports or evidence or anything I've read or saw that goes back that far of any type of paranormal activity.
All right. So, how would you say? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that brings up a good point. We've talked to, with the locations that I've done over the years, I've talked to spirits from basically just this century and, within the past 100 years, 150 years. But how come we never get any, yo, bitch, what's up? Or, something like that. Never get, current. It's strange.
Well, that's actually that's funny you said that. When we were in the woods during one of our public investigations, it was myself, Angie, and two of our friends. And we actually got a male voice that said, "Yo, what up?" or "Yeah, what up?" when we asked if you wanted to talk, if everyone wanted to talk with us, we got a voice and yeah, what up? So that sounds pretty current to me. And I think one of the EVPs that you got, Dennis, at Henricus, that said getting this sounded like didn't sound like it was particularly old to me, anyways.
True. Now here's a question though: if they're intelligent responses, are they learning as they're there and listening to modern day conversation, and are they picking up modern day terminology?
That's a very good question.
Well, see,
that's a good question. Obviously, I can't answer that. I don't know.
Here's something that my uncle threw at me, because he was the one who got me into this, and he was talking about being able to go to locations where people have passed away and getting EVPs of them speaking in English when he knew damn well they didn't know English. So are spirits able to translate, one language to another language for someone to be able to understand it?
Now, I do have a theory on that.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, this entire field is just theory and hypotheses. What if? Now, we all know what the Akashic records are. That's supposedly the records of all knowledge, of all mankind, of all history. What if, upon passing, we're able to get access to the Akashic records?
Mm-hmm.
See, that's another good theory.
It's an excellent theory. I like that. That's a good point.
I also think that if, God gives people, and I don't know what anybody else's faith is, so I'm not putting down anyone else's faith, but God gives everyone special talents. And I feel like if God has given people talents to speak in tongues of languages that aren't their own and they don't even, realize that they're doing it, but they're speaking perfect, like other languages and things like that to be able to talk to other people. I mean, that's happened in humans, so why can't it happen in spirits as well? Like, why isn't that
another very good point?
And there, I've heard EVPs. I've captured EVPs of Native Americans, and they're talking in their native tongue. So they still, they'll still talk the way they did before they passed away. I guess maybe it's special cases where you can capture, an EVP of someone who spoke a different language and now they're speaking English.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. So
and here's
how would y'all say? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. What if it's a spirit that you actually see? I'm always interrooting.
Interrooting? We're making up words now.
Rooting or rutting?
Something like that. What if it's not actually a spirit of that location, but a spirit that you actually have with you at all times?
So like a spirit guide?
See? Now, we've wondered that ourselves because no matter where we are, it doesn't matter where we are, what state we're in, county, city, anything like that. We always get an EVP, at least one, during investigations that says Rodney's name. Always. And I've always kind of wondered that, if it's something that is with him.
Well, that's better than what the dentist usually gets on an investigation.
Poor Dennis.
That's true. I would prefer my name, but they've apparently coined a new nickname for me.
Fucker.
What's that?
Fucker. Or
everywhere
fuck you,
I go.
Dennis. It's a mix between the two. He's so popular with the spirits out here.
It sounds like it.
Well, you're all going to France. They'd be cussing him in French. No matter where he goes.
Oui, les fucker.
Fuck you, Denise.
Fuck you,
Pepe
Denise.
le fucker.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Pepe le fucker.
But you're
So
also
how
the
would y'all say the paranormal world has shaped y'all's life or changed it since you've been in it?
Well, I mean, for me personally, you know, it's changed my life for the better. I mean, these people pretty much are my family, besides my real family, of course. I mean, I don't know where my life would be without the people I have met out here, and yeah, it's been nothing but good for me.
That's great.
What
Well,
about
you're
you,
also.
Angie?
Oh, sorry, I jumped the gun.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Because I'd like to hear it from both y'all.
I feel like I have finally, in my old age, with the help of like Ryan and Dennis and everybody else in our group, have accepted who I am and that I'm not crazy, that this is a real thing.
Crazy?
I mean, I'm still crazy. I'm definitely crazy, but it's in a good way. Like, I am certifiable, but not quite. But and I've never really had. I mean, I've had a family, but I really feel a sense of belonging now, and I feel like I've found my home and a place, and I'm accepted. So, I mean, I think the paranormal world has changed my life definitely for the best, and helped me accept who I am as well.
How about you, Dennis?
Well, I would have to agree that it's changed my life for the better. I've met people that I wouldn't have met otherwise, that I now consider not just friends but family. I've visited places that I wouldn't have otherwise been inclined to. West Virginia State Penitentiary. That was a really cool place with some fantastic history. I wouldn't have been inclined to visit it if it wasn't for the paranormal. I've gotten to know a great deal of history on numerous locations, and I'm a history buff. I love to learn history. So because of the paranormal, it has helped me learn different ways to research locations and history and things of that nature. So it's definitely improved my life.
Mm-hmm. Well, Ryan, you're also the co-founder of Living Paranormal Magazine. Can you tell us about, what got you started with the magazine and why, and how could someone get a copy of this or a subscription to this magazine?
Well, I have to give all the credit to Living Paranormal to Alex and Helena King. They're the ones who do most of the work on it. I remember Helena messaged me about wanting to put together an online magazine where normal people like us, not professional journalists, will get together and write articles about what we are passionate about. And they took this dream that they had and they made it a reality, and I was fortunate enough that they let me be a part of it. And it's an online magazine. You go to livingparanormalmagazine.com, and we have 4 issues out. The next issue comes out on October 25th. Like I said, it's just normal people like you and me, and writing articles about what we're passionate about. Holly Mullins writes for it. I write about I try to write about different locations I've been to. I've been able to investigate. The next issue I'm going to be writing about Henricus Park. I've written about the Exchange Hotel, St. Albans, and the Cabin on 360 so far. And the last latest issue, I wrote about black-eyed children. So it's a very easy read. It's very entertaining, and I think if you want to learn more about the paranormal, it's definitely a good magazine to check out. And if you want to, write for the magazine, just contact Alex or Helena King and let them know.
I can't write for shit.
Well, neither can I. I mean, honestly, shit. I am definitely
Jeff
not.
was just sitting here pointing out that I don't ever write anymore.
Well, hell, when do you have time to write?
I know. And now I got the high blood pressure and all, so I got to keep my stress level down.
Good luck with that. Well, where do y'all think the future of the paranormal and supernatural world is headed?
Wow. I think it it goes in cycles. There was a big upswing a few years ago in teams and television shows, and it's been kind of a downward cycle, and I'm sure it'll probably pick back up again in a few years. I think with the shows like Ghost Adventures and Ghost Hunters, a lot of teams popped up, and a lot of people wanted to become famous overnight, and when that didn't happen, the true investigators stuck around, and I think that's what we have now are the people who weathered the storm of the wannabe investigators and now are taking it seriously.
Mm-hmm. Robin?
Okay, so what? Yeah,
get on the phone.
What do you think the future is of the paranormal?
Who, me?
Well, both of you and Dennis.
Well, Dennis, you go ahead. You go first.
Hey, it helps if I unmute, doesn't it? I'm sorry, guys.
I'm talking, guys.
Always
want you listening to me.
Sure your phone's off mute.
So there's the first step. Now I'm out here on the side road beside the cabin, just checking things out. So sorry I got distracted. Where do I think the future of the paranormal is going? Hopefully, we'll achieve information. I think man's quest from the dawn of time has been what happens after you die. That's what got me into this was, that's part of why I still do this, is I want to know what the hell happens after this meat suit is no longer here. Well, hopefully we'll find some answers. There's new technology comes out every week. You follow guys like Paranologies, equipment makers, app makers, box makers. One of them's bound to hit on something that works flawlessly that spirit can communicate with us. And maybe we'll get some information.
All I'll ever get is more questions.
That's true, but my opinion, the future of it, I'm like Ryan. I do think it's in cycles, but I think one of these groups or one of these individuals is actually, hopefully, one of these days will actually get some really solid, just badass evidence that's going to send a shockwave, through the paranormal world. Because in my opinion, I don't think it's just, a spirit of someone passing on. I think it could be possibly, parallel universes or, wormholes or, time travelers. I think there's a whole lot more to this than just someone's spirit just roaming the earth.
Yeah, the more I learn about the paranormal, the more I realize I don't know about the paranormal.
I know what you mean there, brother. So, what's your?
I think that's part of what makes a good investigator. I think that's part of what makes a good investigator is if you come away from an investigation with more questions than answers.
Oh, I agree. And there's so many times I've had to, I sit down there with a client and I tell them, this is what we've got. Now, can I explain why this is going on? No. Can I tell you how to get rid of it? Yeah, there's some things that people use that try to help either suppress it or get it to move on. But that's a 50-50 chance you're taking. It don't always work.
Yeah.
You either got to live with it and learn to accept it or move. I mean, it's pretty simple.
It's not like an exterminator. There's no 100% guarantee that it's going to be gone.
Well, even with an exterminator, there's not 100%
true.
guarantee.
Yeah, that's true. Something else can always come back in its place.
Yeah. Yeah, and make it something worse.
Goes into my next question. What's your opinion on how investigators and groups can help clients when they're having paranormal activity in their home? What's your best advice that you give them?
Well, when you go on an investigation, Dennis is more of the person who does the cleansing during after an investigation if it needs to be done. Personally, the advice I would give them is to find someone who can help them get rid of what they have if they need to. Learn about what it is and just be firm. And if you don't want, tell it to get out the house.
Right. Well, what's your opinion on people claiming that they have psychic abilities, and have you ever worked with anyone that has supposedly psychic abilities?
Well, Angie is a medium. Dennis is a remote viewer. So again, they're more equipped to answer the questions about that kind of stuff. I barely have AM radio when it comes to psychic abilities right now. I'm still working on mine, but Dennis and Angie and our friend Kim has abilities. So yeah, I've worked with a few people that have had abilities.
Now, could you explain a little bit what remote viewer is? I've never heard that before.
Are you serious?
Take this one.
Are you serious? You are fired. Ryan, I need another co-host.
Did you not hear me?
What'd you say?
I asked if somebody could explain to me what a remote viewer was. I haven't heard of that term before.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You should know that, so you're fired. Ryan, I need another co-host. Do you have anybody?
What is it?
I mean, come on. Okay, go ahead. Somebody explain it to her.
Seriously, what the hell is it?
Dennis?
All right. Remote view is to be able to see places you've never been, been given no information about, but you can see it as though you were there walking through it. I've done locations like I sat at my dining table and recounted almost play-by-play on how a murder just outside Chicago occurred described the area, described the farmhouse. I described the car they pulled up in, where they parked, what the area looked like, where the girl was found, described what injuries the girl had. And it was all because I could see it from my dining table. I sat at my fire pit. Had a call, well, Ryan got a call from a woman somewhere in like North Dakota or somewhere, fucking Midwest. I don't even know where she was. But she had issues in her house. I was able to virtually walk her through her house from my fire pit because I could see it. That's what a remote viewer is. They can see remotely.
Thank you. I'd never heard that term. I've heard of that happening, but I didn't know what they actually termed that. So thank you. And he didn't laugh at me. So,
Well, wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. This comes into my next question. Now, astral projection is the same thing.
How is that the same thing?
Because he's actually able to see, he's able to travel a long distance, his astral body, while his physical body is still sitting in Richmond, Virginia. He went to Cincinnati. That's astral projection. It's the same as remote viewing. And I ask this question every fucking week.
Well, I know what astral projection is. So if you're sitting there...
Huh?
I wouldn't say they're the same thing.
Why wouldn't you say that?
Well, astral projection, you're actually able to feel contours. You're able to smell smells. You're able to all of those things, the senses that one would envision only being able to do at a place. I don't get those. I can't feel the texture on the wall. I can't feel the ground beneath my feet. I can't smell, on occasion, if I'm in a basement, when I'm doing a remote view, I will pick up that it is a musty smell, but that's very rare. That's astral projection. What I do is just simply go through, I guess it'd be through the medium channels. If there's a spirit there that's willing to guide me through, I can do it.
But see, from what I understand about astral projection and also remote viewing, you're still traveling through, as you're saying, a medium, and it's still going through the astral plane. So they are. One, you can feel, touch, and smell. The other one, you can't, as you're saying. Yeah, you go ahead, jump in.
All right. So just so, I totally understand what Dennis is saying. Like, I don't feel like it's the same thing either because I can't do what Dennis does. Like, Dennis can, like he said, can just see it. Well, when I was in high school, one of the biggest things that kind of, I'm not going to say like it scared me, but like I would be laying there with one of my best friends and she'd be like, I wonder what my dad is doing. I could hold her hand and I could literally describe to her what her father's house looked like. I'd never been there. I could feel the shag carpeting between my feet walking barefoot. I could tell her what cologne her dad wore. Like I could feel things. I could see things. You know, I could touch things like he was saying. But I mean, I don't think I could communicate with a spirit or see a spirit that was there, but I can touch physical objects and describe those things to you. Now, I haven't been able to do that like a far distance. I've been able to do it like around like my house. Like I could tell you what my daughter's doing in the other room, but like I could do it really far when I was younger, if that makes sense. Because I guess it's just because I just stopped doing it. But I mean, any of my friends, all I would have to do is touch their hand or touch something of theirs, and then I could be there and tell them anything they wanted to know about it.
Okay.
But not necessarily talk to a spirit.
So this next question then is, what's y'all's opinion about about the afterlife. What do you think it is? Because is it part of a type of remote viewing, or is it part of the astral plane? Is it spiritual? Is it just energy moving around where energy never really dies? It just moves to a different form?
You're breaking up, Rod.
Yeah, you're breaking up a bit.
I gotta love Blog Talk Radio. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was hanging on for this long. Personally, I do believe in heaven. I believe that you can go back and forth between heaven and earth, and you can visit loved ones. I guess it's just has to do with your belief and what you believe in. It's all personal opinion, I guess. I don't know.
Anybody else want to take a stab at it?
I didn't even understand the question.
Yeah, I just really didn't either. That's why I was like, I don't know.
What happens after you die is pretty much the question, I think. Is that correct?
Yeah, what's your opinion about the afterlife? What is it?
Yeah.
In your opinion.
Keep in mind. Go ahead, Ange.
No, you go ahead, Dennis. Go ahead, because you're much better at explaining things.
Yeah, you got that right.
So much better.
Oh, great. Well, keep in
No
mind,
pressure.
opinions are like assholes. We all have one. What is my opinion of the afterlife? What is it? Well, when this meat suit dies that we're stuck in, from being able to talk to spirit, I believe that we are able to, well, one of the cases that I actually worked on, I had a young lady that was here, fairly local to me, that said she had a spirit that she had seen in her house a few times. So when I connected with the spirit, it turned out that it was her father. I was able to describe him, gave her his name and everything else. He was visiting her, but I also said, I see him in Florida, and he says he's visiting, I won't say the brother's name, but he's visiting your brother in Florida. And it could be done at the blink of an eye. So when this meat suit is gone, we're able to do what we wish we could do while we're alive in the confines of this body. I mean, he could blink his eyes and check on his son in Florida and blink and be back here in Virginia checking on his daughter. I'd love to be able to do that. So,
yeah, no kidding.
what is the afterlife? I don't know. I think the afterlife, well, I'm going to quote a speaker that I listened to at Chicago GhostCon a few years ago. He said during a near-death experience, the woman that came and got him, spirit, took him to a place, and he said it was the most beautiful place he had ever seen. He didn't see the flowers, he was the flowers. He didn't see the grass, he was the grass. He could feel what the grass felt. He could feel the sunshine on him like the flowers felt it. When he asked her, is this heaven? She said, no, this is my heaven. Yours may be 100 times more beautiful.
I've heard something well, not quite similar, but we actually had a spiritual advisor that sat and talked to me one night, and he kind of said something kind of on those lines, like maybe there was different levels of heavens, and that, we do kind of have our own heavens created for us. So yeah, I kind of believe that.
Well, and I've had the same thing related to me that I tried to speak with this girl's parents. They were both deceased. The mother said that she was on a different level of heaven than the father, and he was trying to make amends for some of the shit that he had done during his life to get on the same level that she was. And I often scratch my head and go, wow, how fucked am I when I'm dead?
No kidding.
Oh, God, I'm worried about that, too. Oh, God, I'm fucked.
I better start making amends now.
Right.
Better start on that list.
Yeah. Ouija boards. What's y'all's opinions about Ouija boards, and do you all use Ouija boards during any of y'all's investigations or events?
I've never used a Ouija board during an investigation, but the way I figure it, if it's done correctly and you use it the right way, I don't see anything wrong with it. It's the people who don't use it the right way. Like Dennis made a good point. What's the difference between opening up a recorder and trying to communicate with the, using a digital recorder and using a Ouija board? You're still trying to communicate with spirit either way. And as long as you do it the right way and you open it up the right way and close it out the right way, I don't personally see anything wrong with you using Ouija board, but I would not use one on an investigation.
I think that the proof that everything can be a portal is that there are humans that are mediums. So a Ouija board can be a portal. The pendulum can be a portal. Us as mediums, as mediums can be portals. So we just all have to make sure that we protect ourselves and the things that we're doing to make sure that we're not letting that negative energy stay with us after, we're done with that for the day. We have to leave that in where it is. And part of that is training too, not just picking something up for the first time and saying, let's practice with this. Before you try it for the first time, do your research.
Although, finding a Ouija board next to the Play-Doh in the toy section of Walmart, I'm sure teenage girls who get Ouija boards to ask about if a guy in the class likes them, they don't really do an opening and closing prayer. But then again, I don't know how serious you have to take the Ouija board in order for really dangerous energy to come through either. I don't really know much about the Ouija board.
Well, have any of you all had any experiences other than the paranormal, such as, crypto or any UFO encounters?
I've never had any of those experiences myself. How about you, Angie?
Like UFOs or anything like that, I personally haven't. A lot of weird shit's happened to me in my life, but I think just plain paranormal, like ghost-like activity, nothing that I would call alien or UFO or anything like that.
I'd love to go squatching though sometime.
Oh, hell yeah. That would be fun.
We need to do that. Take a squat hunt.
A Yeti trip.
Yes. Yeah.
How about
the
you,
Yeti
Dennis?
excursion?
Well,
how supportive is y'all's families with the work you do?
Do what? I'm sorry.
How supportive is y'all's families with the work you do?
Well, for my personal, they're kind of like, oh, cool type of thing. They don't really have an opinion on it. They think it's cool what I do, and they think it's they like the friends I've been able to make and stuff. But I show my dad an EVP or something. He's like, oh, that's really cool. But it's it's not like I've made him a believer. I think he likes it because I like it.
My mom's always scared of bring Satan home or something.
My daughter actually is really into it. She enjoys the paranormal. She enjoys coming out here and investigating with me.
So what do you do when you're not so freaking busy? Because you always into something.
Yeah, I try to stay busy as possible. being able to, hang out with Angie and do stuff with her, and being able to do stuff with Dennis. And when I get on my downtime, pretty much just watching YouTube videos.
A lot of Good Mythical Morning.
Yeah, Good Mythical Morning is the show I watch on YouTube, or honestly listen to EVPs because I have a lot of those to catch up on.
Oh, Lord, I do too. I'm still, oh, Lord, I got so much I got to go over.
Some of them are so old. It's like I just toss them because I don't know who was there. I can't quantify if it's what I captured is an EVP or not. So if it's older than like a month or 2 months old, I usually just scrap it.
So, what are your plans for the rest of 2017? Any events that you're are going to or hosting?
Well, funny you mentioned that. I've got the event on September 16th at the Log Cabin. We will have an event in October. I'm not sure of the date, but it'll be to support the fight against breast cancer. Angie and I are going to be participating in the Exchange Hotel haunted house event they have going on at the end of October. Plus, we've got the Vibe Radio Network public investigation on November 11th at St. Albans Sanatorium, which I'm expecting to see both of you there with us. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, I'm trying to invite former hosts of the network to come out. So Dennis, obviously is invited to come out. And other than that, we'll have a charity event in December at the cabin. Another Giving Ghosts event where we collect toys for the Henrico Christmas Mother. So we'll have that in December.
So
we're staying busy.
I'm sorry I got such a frog in my throat this evening. I don't know what's happened to my voice today. Maybe that's a clue for me to turn on.
Don't worry.
So if anybody wants to get a hold of you, Ryan, what's the website that they can reach you at, or any type of social media they can contact you?
Well, on Facebook, Ryan C. Jones. You can look. You want to learn about the Cabin on 360. Just look up the Cabin on 360 on Facebook. Look up the Freaking Awesome Paranormal Show. We're on Monday nights from 10 to 11 p.m. Myself, Angie, Celestial, and Amanda. We're all there. What else? The Living Paranormal Magazine is on Facebook. Look up that on Facebook. And obviously look up Crop Paranormal on Facebook as well. And I'm on Twitter. Let's Get Freaky 10 is my Twitter. It's also the official Twitter of the Freak House and Paranormal Show.
Awesome. Well, Ryan, we're about running out of time, so if there's anything you'd like to add to or take away or throw up against the wall, floor's yours for a few minutes.
Well, man,
you're breaking up real bad, Rod.
I want to thank you guys for letting me come on the show. Like I said, I'm used to being on the other side of this process. So if my words got twisted or I got a little tongue-tied, I apologize for that. Like I said, I'm used to asking the questions, not answering them. So hopefully I did an okay job. And I'm glad I had Dennis and Angie on here to support me and answer some questions as well.
Oh, you did a great
guys.
job. Oh, thank you. You did a great job, and thank you, Angie and Dennis, for popping up. And we got to come there to represent.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We've already got Celestial coming up. Rebecca Smuck is gonna come down from Michigan, I think, for the event. It's gonna be a good time, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody out there. Hopefully, we'll get Holly and the Cocker Sisters out there as well, and we'll make it a big event.
Okay, bud. Well, I look forward to it. And if you need anything, boss man, you give us a holler, and I'll go ahead and let you go. And thank you all so much for coming on the show.
One more thing. I want to thank you and Robin, very much for being such great hosts on our network. It's our network. It belongs to all of us. Thank you for making it as best as it can be. The sky's the limit for us, and thank you very much for being a part of it.
Thank you, Ron.
Yeah, thank you. It's been an honor and a privilege, and I thank you all for this opportunity. I mean, I've had a blast with it, and I enjoy it, and I wouldn't trade it in for nothing.
I appreciate that, man. You take care of yourself. Have a great night.
Okay, you too.
Good night, guys.
Night.
Night, y'all.
Night, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a blessed night.
Oh, thank you too, Dennis. Well, that's it for us tonight. I want to thank Ryan, Angie, and Dennis for coming on the show.
Night, y'all.
Never let it out, you never let it go. I feel it raining on fire, I feel me losing control. I can see in your eyes that it's just about over. I can see in your eyes that I'm just about over this life with you goes on. Why don't you stand up? There's nothing left to scream about. And shut your mouth. There's nothing left to talk about. Never let it out. I never let it go. I'm living days on fire, I'm spinning out of control. I can see in your eyes that it's just about over. I can see through your lies that I'm just about over there. So won't you tell me if you lost your fucking mind? Why don't you
Right now, save 50% off everything at Gap Factory and 50 to 70% off everything at Banana Republic Factory. That's right, 50% off or more on everything in stores and online. Save with teas starting at $6.99 and 40% off clearance at Gap Factory stores. And at Banana Republic Factory stores, fabulous tops start at $9.99 and 50% off clearance. Hurry! Search our store locator for your nearest Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory store or shop us online. Right now, save 50% off everything at Gap Factory and 50 to 70% off everything at Banana Republic Factory. That's right, 50% off or more on everything in stores and online. Save with teas starting at $6.99 and 40% off clearance at Gap Factory stores. And at Banana Republic Factory stores, fabulous tops start at $9.99 and 50% off clearance. Hurry! Search our store locator for your nearest Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory store or shop us online.